just out of curiosity, how many people are disappointed when there's a snow day? Like, there's nobody that's like sending a text message to their principal or sending a text message to the superintendent or email to the superintendent like, you know what, I will come to school no matter what. So while we would not like the flow of our week disrupted, there is somewhat of a relief to when we have a unexpected school holiday. Okay, so if that's the case, when a student is suspended, isn't that pretty much the same thing? So let's be clear, ISS is something you have control over. When you send a student to ISS, you can make them uncomfortable for that day. But let's take a look at out-of-school suspension. Out-of-school suspension, you have no control over the environment that the student is in. And so therefore, the only punishment is the student is not at school. But let's think about this. Is not being at school as a child really a punishment? Because when I was a kid, I had a TV with a remote, I had PlayStation, I had Sega, I had Nintendo. Whenever a system came out, I had it. I had cable, I had a VCR. I always had food in the house. Being at home was where I wanted to be 99.9% of the time. And even kids that don't necessarily come from the best of situations would still rather be at home playing or doing something else because school is like work. You kind of want a break. Kids want breaks, we want breaks. And an unexpected break for a kid is no different than an unexpected break for an adult. And so when you tell a student that they're suspended, yes, they are going to have a reaction very similar to this. But once they wake up that day and they've been suspended, at the end of the day, you're still at home. There's only so much we can expect a parent to do to make a certain type of environment when we send that kid home. When you're a teacher and you send a student to the office, whatever happens to that student is out of your control. When you're an administrator and you send a student home, whatever happens is out of your control. If you want the parent to follow through, you can't control whether or not they're going to do that. Some parents will, some parents won't. Some parents can't. The challenge that we have is, what can we do to change the behavior at school versus sending kids out of school and hoping that the behavior magically changes based on something that the parent does, which in a lot of cases, with the particular students that we're continuously sending out of school, we have plenty of evidence to prove that that's not going to happen.